Imagine sitting at a boardroom table. A colleague leans across, flashes a tight smile, and tells you how lucky you are to get a promotion, considering you do not work nearly as hard as everyone else in the office. That is a backhanded compliment. It is a highly specific, covert weapon used to chip away at your self-esteem while maintaining the appearance of polite conversation. The person delivering it has a clear objective. They want to land a damaging emotional blow, but they are unwilling to risk a direct, honest confrontation. To stop this behavior, you have to use a precise counter-strategy known as the intent spotlight. When executed correctly, this framework removes the protection of their polite disguise. It forces the aggressor into a visible panic without you ever having to raise your voice. Mastering the intent spotlight shifts the power dynamic in the room. You take a manipulator's favorite covert weapon and turn it into a public liability. The moment that disguised insult lands, a brief window opens. In that time, you are forced to make a behavioral choice, and most people choose one of two common failure points. The first failure point is choosing to defend yourself and displaying outward anger. If you choose defense, the manipulator will immediately execute their countermove. They will retreat behind their facade and gaslight you, claiming you are being sensitive to a simple compliment. The second common failure point is choosing submission by offering a polite thank you. This flowchart illustrates why both of these reactions fail. Whether you defend or submit, the result is the same. By accepting the remark, you silently absorb their emotional poison. Step 1 of the intent spotlight creates a third path. You must execute a complete physical and verbal freeze the exact moment the words leave their mouth. During this freeze, you must follow strict prohibitions. There is no smiling, you do not nod to acknowledge the statement, and you display zero visible anger. Halting these default reactions is the only functional way to short-circuit the psychological feedback loop the manipulator expects to receive. Once you have frozen your reactions, you must establish physical dominance, starting with where you focus your gaze. Step 2 requires you to lock on to a cold, highly analytical facial expression. You maintain unbroken, direct eye contact with the person who just insulted you. This expression changes the nature of the interaction. It signals to the manipulator that you are clinically observing their behavior, rather than emotionally reacting to it. Step 3 initiates an intentional and measured 2-second period of complete silence. By refusing to fill the conversational void, you amplify the uncomfortable tension in the room. You are forcing the manipulator to sit in the awkward silence they created. Weaponizing absolute silence forces the manipulator to experience the weight of their own words before a single word of your response is spoken. The moment that 2-second silence concludes, you must vocalize your response. Your vocal delivery must be completely flat and unemotional. You must avoid raising your pitch at the end of the sentence, which would make the question sound like a plea for clarity. Maintaining that flat tone, you ask them, "Are you trying to insult me, or was that supposed to be a compliment?" Step 5 is the frame hold. The second you complete the question, you initiate your final physical actions. You immediately close your mouth. You hold the unbroken eye contact. You avoid adding a nervous laugh or any softening filler words. This is when their composure collapses. Under the pressure of the frame hold, the manipulator will typically break eye contact and nervously begin backpedaling. Asking a direct, emotionless question corners the manipulator. It forces them to either openly declare their hostility or retreat into a defensive posture. In the immediate aftermath of that interaction, the power dynamic in the room has firmly reversed. This reversal happens because you have removed their plausible deniability. This is the shield that protects toxic, passive-aggressive behavior in social settings. Backhanded compliments rely on their hidden intent remaining concealed beneath a polite layer. The intent spotlight dissolves that protective cover for everyone to see. By holding up a behavioral mirror, you force the toxic individual to embarrass themselves without expending your own emotional energy. A high-value individual refuses poisoned social gifts. They methodically expose the poison and return it to the sender. Mastering internal emotional reactions allow you to dictate the terms of your external social reality.